of the products we use every day. From fragrances to painkillers to fabric dyes in our clothing, every new chemical has at one time been force fed to animals. According to the Humane International Society, the testing of products include cosmetics, household cleaners, and food additives. All these procedures that animals go through to create these products have the potential to cause physical as well as psychological pain and distress to the animals. Most animals are killed at the end of an experiment, but some are reused for the next experiments. An example of animal procedure is during toxicity testing, when animals are exposed to chemicals, to oral force feeding, forced inhalation, and skin injection into abdomen and muscles. Being exposed to chemicals and drugs, animals usually end up in illness, pain and distress, or even death sometimes. Animals also go through prolonged periods of physical restraint for observation and examination. This is physical abuse as animals go through pain just so the doctors can study its physiology and treatments. There are many different species used for animal testing, but the most common ones are rodents, fishes, dogs, cats, birds, and rodents. In this list, rodents such as mice and rats are used the most because of their genetic similarities to humans. They are mainly harmed by housing and handling. Housing is when they're kept in small cages, which restricts them from their natural behaviors. This can lead to poor health conditions and stress-sensitive diseases. Handling is the way that mice are handled, which affects their stress levels. The main cons of animal testing are it's expensive, it's time-consuming, risks human health, and are poor predictors of human reactions. Animal tests can cost thousands or millions of dollars per study. For example, a tulip species cancer study can cost $2 to $4 million. Animal testing is time-consuming because it takes years to conduct and analyze. For example, even the most used animals, rodents cancer study can take 4 to 5 years. To register a pesticide, it takes a whole decade to complete all the animal studies. But the most time-consuming test is for drug development, which takes an average length of 14 years. So the time to get one new drug approved through animal testing is basically my entire life. Lastly, animal tests can be risks to human health, which connects them to being poor predictors of human reactions. Animal experiments can be unreliable, leading patients to unnecessary risks and a waste of resources. Animal models are usually poor predictors of human reactions, which can lead to a delayed medical progress. One tragic example is the painkiller Vioxx, which was approved after all the animal studies but was later recalled for high risks to cardiovascular diseases. Now that we know animal testing can also be bad for humans, some alternatives are using isolated cells and tissues, computers, experimenting safely on human volunteers, or even using simple organisms such as bacteria. The structures of cells can be used to study drug toxicity. Cell-based tests can assess the safety of drugs with accuracy. Cell-based tests can assess the safety of drugs and consumer products. Human tissues can be used to study human biology and diseases. This is a great replacement for rabbit irritation tests. Computers can test the safety of drugs with an accuracy of 90%. Human volunteers are another alternative for animal testing, as humans receive small doses of a new drug and are examined on how the body reacts towards it. Volunteers can also donate tissues after surgery or death, providing a more appropriate way of studying human biology and diseases. The last type of alternative is through bacteria such as E. coli, which can be used in genetic and molecular studies. Before I wrap up my speech, I would like to share something personal. As someone who loves animals and has grown up with pets, it's upsetting to think of dogs just like mine being locked away in labs, scared and suffering in pain. These animals also feel pain, fear, and loneliness just like we do, yet we still use them as tools in painful experiments. This isn't just a distant issue to me, it's something that I care about deeply. So in conclusion, animal testing is cruel, outdated, and ineffective. Over 115 million animals suffer in labs each year. Yet more than 90% of drugs that pass animal tests fail in humans. With more accurate and ethical alternatives such as human cell testing and computer models, we no longer need to rely on animal suffering for progress. It's time to choose compassion and science that truly works. Animal testing should be banned because no life should be sacrificed needlessly. Thank you for listening.